Batman Mystery of the Batwoman ends up being a fascinating kind of endpoint to a lot of the things that happened in the new Batman adventures and the events that happened in Batman Beyond Return of the Joker, as Tim Drake is still working with Batman, but he's obviously a lot older than he was in the new Batman adventures, and Barbara Gordon is still there, but it's kind of obvious that Bruce and her are no longer involved in that. Let me leave it at right there. But this series is actually pretty funny in the fact that it introduces the character of Batwoman into the DCAU, but it's not the Batwoman you would think, as this appearance by Batwoman comes long after the relevancy of Kathy Kane, but 3 years before the creation of Kate Kane. So the series was kind of introduced in a way that it would be a mystery as to who Batwoman would be, because we had never been introduced to any kind of relative or love interest towards Batman with the last name Kane, so they created a brand new character for this movie, where this new hero Batwoman is in Gotham trying to stop criminals, but she's actually out to kill, which is funny because honestly that is very much in line with the Batwoman mythos, as every incarnation of Batwoman tends to be a little bit more willing to do the deed, as it were. And with the Penguin and Rupert Thorne, doing illegal weapons deals, and gangster named Carlton providing protection, there's a lot of criminal foot traffic going on in Gotham during this time. So Batman and Robin are out to stop not just the Penguin and Rupert Thorne, but also Batwoman from just outright killing criminals. But as they try to find out her identity, they find a minimum of no less than 3 potential candidates. Kathy, Carlton's daughter; Rocky, this girl who is brand new to Wayne Industries and helps to develop various different technologies, some of which ends up being used by Batwoman, which, come on; and Harvey Bullock's new detective partner, Sonia, who just seems to really know far too much about what's going on with the Penguin and Rupert Thorne. So because of that, Batman and Robin end up really being thrown off the trail of who could potentially be the Batwoman. Meanwhile, as every move that the Penguin and Rupert Thorne seem to make always seems to be predicted and ambushed by Batwoman, they end up bringing in Bane as a way of getting some extra muscle in to stop any potential more losses as they move forward their plan. Only for Batman by that point to realize that Batwoman isn't just one of these women, it's all 3 of them. They have this connection that is very easy to miss, but they all hold a grudge against the Penguin, Thorne, and Carlton respectively. Penguin had framed Roxy's fiancé Kevin, and he got sent to prison. Thorne caused Sonia's family to go bankrupt with various dealings, and Carlton's constant gang wars ended up resulting in Kathy's mother being killed. And it was ultimately Detective Sonia who had chosen the mantle of the Batwoman because Batman had previously saved her life before she had become a police officer. In fact, that's what inspired her to become a police officer. But ultimately, it's Kathy who's in the suit when the whole Bane situation goes down. She's captured, she's unmasked. Of course, Carlton gets turned on by the Penguin and Thorne. Batman manages to come in and get her out of a bad situation, as she had planted some bombs to blow up the destruction, and Carlton had decided to turn on both Thorne and Penguin in order to save his daughter's life, of course. So Bane is defeated, Thorne and Penguin are ultimately arrested. Carlton decides to testify against Thorn and the Penguin. Batman gets evidence to Sonya that can help clear Rocky's fiance, and Sonya ultimately resigns from the GCPD as she takes the heat for being Batwoman for the most part. And Bruce had actually had a relationship with Kathy the entire time, and it ends with them kind of being an item, but we know that really doesn't last. And honestly, I find it hilarious that aspects of Batwoman, past and future, all exist within these three characters to some extent. Mostly just two of them for the most part. As with Kathy, it's, come on, Kathy Kane. It's such a cheeky little bit of a reference, but it's mostly just in name only. But the socialite aspect of Kathy is kind of given to Kate. With Rocky, is the fact that she comes from a family that ends up. No, Rocky was the one with the fiance, so no, there's not a deeper connection there. But with Sonya, no, that's the one who has the connection with the family. So that's a little bit in both Kate and Kathy, as they didn't really have much of their family fortunes to really rely back on. But especially with Sonya and the similarities with Kate, is the idea that she was inspired by Batman after she was rescued by him. That's Kate Kane's backstory for the most part. She had gone into the military, she was outed because she was gay, and then she ended up falling into this depression, ended up being mugged, but Batman came in and saved her. It's the same backstory. Not to mention Sonya being a police officer, Kate being a former military officer and all that. It's a fun little bit of connective tissue, and I really do wonder if it was at all intentional. But overall, this movie wasn't bad, but it wasn't the best. It was probably the weakest of all the Batman movies between, Mask of the Phantasm, Sub-Zero, and Return of the Joker for the DCAU. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't terrible by any means. It had an interesting mystery that had a fun bit of payoff, and it was a nice little bit of an end to the new Batman adventures. Just one last little bit of a romp for Batman, Robin, and Batgirl. Although I do wish we actually got a proper Batwoman, but 3 years later you really would get that with the arrival of Kate Kane, so que sera. But tell me, did you enjoy Mystery of the Batwoman? Did you enjoy the thought of there being a Batwoman, or did you feel like it was too little too late? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and if you liked this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for notifications. And until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.